in the last step, we've generated the volumetric mesh, but we realized and the mesh resolution is not fine enough to resolve the detailed flow structure. Basically, the mesh is very coarse. So in this step, we will try to refine the mesh and get suitable resolution. So what we need to do is we need to generate a block snapped to the front wing, and within that block, we can refine the mesh. Okay, so let's go back to the parts. And let me make the scene more suitable. Okay, so this is original mesh. And we are going to the parts and new shape part block. We're generating another block, as I said, snapped to the front wing. So we don't need to worry about the coordinates in here, but enables snap to part, and the part will choose the William front wing. Okay, so this is a part we are expected. So it's closely snapped to the geometry. Then we just create once, it will be highlighted, then close. So we will see block 2 in here. Yeah. Okay, so the next step is we want to control the parameters within the block. And what we do is move to operation, and we have measure, default control. In a custom control, we want to generate volumetric control. So we can open it. And first of all, we need to specify which part need to be controlled. So we click volumetric control, going to the lower parts, and select block 2. Okay, that's it. So this part is highlighted. We want to control the parameters inside. Then we can open it, surface remeasure, and we can use custom size because we want to make it smaller, right? Prism layer, and we can keep the, if we don't enable it, it will use a default one in the default control. And trimmer, we can enable customize isotropic size. And then values, custom size, percentage to base, now it's 10%, and it's too big. So let's reduce it to 2%, enter. Okay, so now it's done. We can execute. So it's doing the remeshing for us. And because now the mesh is slightly larger, it will take longer time to process. And we can track the procedures from below, although it's very quick. It's completed now. And so we go to the scene, and actually we can see on the side, and you can see here it's much better, right? And to better visualize, we can enable this service. And so you can see here, you get more points, for example, in the slots, and also more points in the around surrounding the front wing, and we can potentially capture the wake. Okay, so you can also make it smaller, but for demonstration purpose, we are just keeping this size because otherwise it takes very long time. Let's have a better viewing perspective. Okay, so you have a better view. And actually we can, so you may worry here, you get very coarse mesh, and we can reduce a little bit by redoing and the base size. If you are really concerned, you can reduce this, but once it's reduced, you're very, very slow to generate. So for example, we change to 0.3. Let's see what happens. And let's first enable it. So I expect it to take much longer. Okay, so after a few minutes, we can see the mesh is denser, especially in this area, right? And also it looks better around the aerofoil, and we get slightly even more gray, I would say. Okay, so we will use this mesh for the later steps.